Hello, Huntley Hotspurs. It's time for Premier League Game Week 8, which is starting this Saturday after this very short international break. Let's get straight into the predictions. So, for the first time this season, the very first game, the Saturday 1:30 South Africa time kickoff game, is Tottenham versus West Ham at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Look, initially I gave Spurs a bit of a pass. A couple of weeks ago, I'd said, I was thinking to myself, yeah, Spurs could maybe get a draw here, and then we just need to, try and win, against Alkmaar in Europa and beat Crystal Palace. But I've changed my mind actually. I want Tottenham to win. I think Ange's fate will be decided by the end of this very pivotal month. I think anything less than us winning against Alkmaar, Palace, West Ham will be unacceptable. We can lose to Man City. I'm not going to judge him on that, or the players on that. But these three games, West Ham, an out of form, poor West Ham, who are not going to be away from home, and Alkmaar, who are also going to be away from home, and then going to Palace, but Palace are not really looking that hot. We need to win all three of those games. We really do. We really have to win all three of those games. The Man City thing, it sucks a bit because that's a cup game. We really want to win it. But let's be real. If Pep's saying he's going to play his B team or even his C team, it doesn't matter. I think the B or C team of Man City can beat Tottenham. Tottenham are at home for that game, which may help them a bit. But listen, there's no shame. If we can just beat West Ham, Alkmaar, and Palace, then I think Ange will definitely have kept his job. But I think if we lose any of those, or even draw any of those, I think real questions need to be asked of Ange. I really do think so. So you know what? I'm going to be a bit ballsy here and just throw everything on this one. I'm going to say Tottenham 6, West Ham 1. Solanke hat-trick, Son to bag one on his return, Kulusevski going to get one, and let's go for a rogue shout for maybe Rodrigo Bentancur. Solid. Second game, Ipswich versus Everton. I actually think Ipswich are going to get the win here. Liam Delap's, scored, I think it's 4 goals in his first 7 games for Ipswich. That's brilliant for playing for a team that's only just been promoted. I think maybe him or someone else is actually going to, being the home team, I think they're going to have a bit of an advantage. And I'm actually going to go for an Ipswich win. Ipswich 1, Everton 0. Third game, Man United versus Brentford. A lot of people will just love Man United to lose to Brentford, but they're not going to. Man United are playing at home, and historically, Man United actually have pretty solid results against Brentford. They do tend to beat them, no matter what form they're in. It is just one of those things where Man United, especially when they're at home, they do beat Brentford. So I don't think it's going to be any different. I'm going to go Man United 2, Brentford 0. Ten Hag to survive another day. Fourth game, Fulham versus Aston Villa. You know what? Fulham have actually been a little bit better than I expected this season. They've coped very well with Paulinho's move to Bayern. And they're playing a very attractive style of football, and I think they're punching a bit above their weight. And Villa, I think, might start getting a bit of fatigue sitting in with all their European games. We saw they struggled with Man United after beating Bayern 1-0, got a 0-0 draw there. And I think Aston Villa, they're going away from home to a tricky Fulham, who are brimming with confidence. I think Fulham are going to get something here. I'm going to say Fulham 1, Aston Villa 1, a draw. Fifth game, Newcastle versus Brighton. Brighton have started like a house on fire this season. Hussle is having a very similar beginning to his life at Brighton as what Postecoglou did to the start of his life at Tottenham, playing this absolutely unpredictable, super attacking football. And at the moment, just like with Postecoglou at this stage last season, teams can't really seem to know who they're going to be playing against, what formation they're playing, who's going to turn up. Are they going to be all-out attack? What's happening? I think Brighton are going to put up something here, but I do think Newcastle will have just too much. Newcastle 2, Brighton 1. Okay, sixth game, Southampton versus Leicester. I think nothing to say here. Bottom of the table clash. I think Leicester may, and even Ipswich, may have enough to actually survive this season, but I think in this game, Southampton are at home. They really need to start trying to get some form of points. I think they're going to get a very dull point here. I'm going to say Southampton 0, Leicester, nil. No goals in this game. Okay, fourth last game, Bournemouth versus Arsenal. Bournemouth are the home team, but I think even having said that, Arsenal are looking so good. I think they're looking very fluid, looking very confident. They want to keep pushing Manchester City. So I'm going to say Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 3. Third last game, Wolves versus Manchester City. Sure, I think Wolves are at home, but just like Bournemouth, Man City really want to keep the pace going on, Arsenal and Liverpool for that title. And make big statements. And Wolves are just looking in big trouble at the moment. So I'm actually going to go for a hammering. I'm going to say Wolves 0, Manchester City 5. All right, second last game, Liverpool versus Chelsea. I think this is going to be a pretty good game. I think there's going to be pretty evenly matched as well. I would not have predicted at the beginning of the season that Chelsea would get anything from, being away at Anfield. But now in post-Klopp era with Slot started very well. Maresca started very well. I think they're going to share the points here. Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Final game, Nottingham Forest versus Crystal Palace. This is the very last game. It's actually a Monday night game. A bit of a boring one. I think Crystal Palace are going to continue their unfortunate poor form, especially because they're away from home. So I'm going to go for a win to Nottingham Forest, actually. I'm going to go Nottingham Forest 1, Crystal Palace 0. But anyway, those are my predictions. We'll see next week how accurate I was with them. But yeah, Spurs, you really have to get a win here. You really do. Look, and I know I went for an absolute hammering, but even a 2-1 victory or a 1-0 victory or 3-2 is fine. You just really do need to win this game. But you know what? I'm going to stick by my guns and go for that hammering. Tottenham 6, West Ham 1. But yeah, let's see how we do. And as always, come on, you Spurs.